Can you hear me? Welcome, everybody. I'm Clare Cooley, and this is the Creativity Show. These live streams, I'm so grateful you're here, and I really appreciate it if you tell friends, because I'm not good at self-promotion, and I love helping people, so help me help others by sharing it with your friends. These live streams, I really want to thank the Minnesota State Arts Board and the National Endowment for the Arts for the grants that I was awarded to do these 15 live streams Monday and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Central Time. And I'm also going to be putting out 10 video and written blogs all about how to find something that inspires you to write about, share, do art about, and how to promote it. So in these 15 live streams, I'm going to get in depth on a different aspect of finding what inspires you and promoting it.
Hey, Mom, will you start again from the beginning? We went live on YouTube, but we just went live on Facebook right now. So my apologies,
Okay.
everybody. We are now live everywhere. So go ahead and restart.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm Clare Cooley, author, artist, and in these 15 live streams, I'm going to be sharing how to find what inspires you to write or paint or any kind of creative expression you'd like to do that makes you happy, it fulfills you, and how to promote it and share it with others. Thank you to the Minnesota State Arts Board and the National Endowment for the Arts for awarding me grants to do these live streams. I'm very grateful for that and very humbled and appreciative of this community here in Minnesota that is so supportive of artists and creativity, which is, something that helps us get through all the rest of life, which can be challenging. And the world is in a challenging time, and I want to dedicate this live stream to world peace. May we all take the high road as individuals, as communities, as countries, as whatever your beliefs are. May we take the high road and seek and be an example of peace in the world. That's all we can do as individuals. Stand up for peace for everybody, everywhere. So I hope I can help you find your peace and share it with others. That's what my art is all about. My art is inspired by nature and my desire to live in harmony with nature, our home, and my hope that we can live in harmony with ourselves and heal ourselves through creative expression. It stimulates our immune system, any emotion we express. We can heal ourselves by writing, being our own sacred witness, which is how I started writing. And we can share it with others to be an example and hopefully help people hope that they can not only heal themselves, but help others by sharing it. So these live streams, each one will have an in-depth focus on finding what inspires us, setting up our life and time to be able to work on it, and then the aspects of promoting it in 6 different categories. Let's see if I can remember them or if I have to refer to my notes. First is social media. Then there is sharing our content, our different ways. Let me get my notes, because these are the parts that social media platforms, search engine optimization, content exposure, press, events, and our contacts. So that's the different ways we can promote our work. And as creatives, self-promotion is not something that comes naturally, but that's how we help others. That's what I'm motivated to do is use what I've experienced as fuel to heal myself and help others. So that's where my art comes from. And my very first published piece was a poet who asked if he could use my art, Cyrus Crane's mating dance, on the cover of his poetry book. My second published work was my book, The Book of Cranes, that came about because I really was curious. I wanted to see all 15 species of cranes, and so I went to the public library in San Francisco, where I was living at the time, and I couldn't even find good photographs, let alone paintings of all 15 species. So I found out there was an International Crane Foundation in Baraboo, Wisconsin, and I called, and the director, co-founder of the International Crane Foundation, George Archibald, invited me, and I went back there, and he allowed me to observe the cranes within their enclosures, which was quite an honor. And I painted the 15 species that I did in this accordion book, printed on both sides. And a designer in California who had won an award with the Museum of Modern Art in Manhattan came to me to design a product together, and we came up with a prototype for this book. I took it to Pomegranate, and the first and only publisher I took it to said, let's do it, and you should write it. And I said, but I'm not really a writer. And he said, but you love cranes, and you will do a great job. And I thought, wow, he knows something I don't know. So I took a leap of faith and did the research and wrote the book. And so my art, design, and paintings are in the Book of Cranes. And Bodhi's going to share a video he did to promote my crane art. And he's going back into the office as we speak. We're a two-person operation here, so.
Yes, excuse me running back and forth. And real quick, I want to say hi to everybody who's saying hi and dropping their comments. And hi, guys. So fun to catch a live. Nice. Thank you guys for watching. All right, I will show you the video she just mentioned. Here we go.
During this adventure with the cranes, it's always a thrill to meet kindred spirits that share these values. And when Clare Cooley came to our Crane Foundation to make sketches and paint all 15 species of cranes, it was very exciting to meet Clare and to keep in touch through the years. I'm always looking forward to what's around the next corner for her in her creativity.
It was an honor to walk among the cranes at the International Crane Foundation, the only place in the world that all 15 species of cranes live. Their captive breeding program helps to ensure the survival of these marvelous creatures. I hope to share with you the beauty of the cranes that sing, dance, mate for life, take equal care of their young, and live on 5 continents.
Choose from 40 crane paintings and drawings printed in Clare Cooley's home studio into large, medium, and small fine art prints. The small prints are printed on folded fine art paper so that they can act as a note card, the gift and the card in one.
A portion of the proceeds from my work goes to the International Crane Foundation to help protect cranes and their natural habitats. My art is motivated by a desire to bring nature's beauty into everyday life, to help inspire us to live in balance with our precious earth and all its inhabitants. I hope that the cranes inspire you as they've inspired me.
All right, lovely. How are you guys doing? Great, good stuff. Great to see you guys on YouTube and Facebook. For those of you who don't know, you can tune into this live stream on her YouTube channel, The Creativity Show, as well as on her Facebook profile, Clare Cooley. Yeah, I love helping her with this stuff. My mother is very multifaceted and has numerous talents and skills, and one of the things she is not experienced at is self-promotion. She's just not good at it, so I'm here to help promote her and all of her art and fantastic things. So on that note, she loves to help people. That's why she wrote the book, but promoting her book is not one of the things that comes naturally to her. You can see here a QR code you can scan to go check out her book. That's the full color version on Amazon. You can also find her book in all of its available formats on incandescencebook.com. You can buy it from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, anywhere that you can get books, including if you want to support your local bookshop by buying her book. You can go to just ask them to get it. Email them, call them, walk in and ask, and they'll order it for you. I loved helping her get her stories out there and doing all the business work of getting it to all of these different booksellers. And you can also find her art at clarecooley.com/shop. I'll put the QR code up there to make it easy for you. You can get her prints that we make here in our home, limited edition. And again, please check out her YouTube channel, The Creativity Show. And in case she didn't already, thank you to the Minnesota State Arts Board and the National Endowment for the Arts for the grants to conduct these live streams. All right, guys, back to the woman of the hour, Clare Cooley. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Bodhi. I really appreciate that. And I am highly motivated to help others and the world with my art and my stories. And nothing is more gratifying than hearing from people that hearing my stories, which is why I wrote the book, help them hope and heal. And I wrote the book because I want to help people. And so I really appreciate it when you help me help others by telling them about it. I'll never be good at self-promotion, but I'm trying to embrace it and know that, the more people I can help by sharing my stories of rising above my own adversity, by turning my adversity into advantage, by using it as fuel for art, the more people I help, the more I am a champion of living in balance with nature and living in respect and for each other. All of our different beliefs don't really matter. What matters is how we act in life. So let us be kind to one another and be kind to the environment and all its creatures and appreciate this beautiful world that we were born into, and do our best to protect it by walking lightly on the earth, creating what we can, consuming less, trying to waste nothing. That is some of the principles I've tried to always live my life by. And part of the reason that I have so much creativity in my life is that I try to use whatever's around me to have some creative fun and heal myself through expressing my emotions creatively, stimulating my own immune system, and sharing that with others. So the incandescence, rising above darkness, as I said, people told me my stories helped them. And so I said, well, it would not be, it would be selfish not to share them. So, but I didn't know I could really write until I was invited to Alev Coutier's writing workshop. Thank you, Alev, so much. That was really a powerful experience for me. I said to myself, just write whatever's in your heart, whatever comes out, bring it on Monday to the workshop, share it, and see if you can move people with your words. So if you can't, that's okay. Maybe somebody else will write the stories. So I went to the workshop and I read Hummingbird Heart about my beloved older sister who struggled all of her life with addictions and alcoholism and was way too young to die of a heart attack. But that's what happens when we don't take care of ourselves. Sometimes it's, our hearts just can't take it. So I read that story and I looked around the room and I saw the other women in the group. Most of them had tears in their eyes or clouded eyes, and I realized, well, it moved them. And Alev said, you have what every writer wants, your own voice. And even though there was one woman in the group that didn't appreciate my story and said so many words. And I said, well, that is what, writing is made out of words. And I realized that we can't inspire some without infuriating others. Some people can't get past their own critical voice, and some people share it with others. Bless them and don't let it bother them that it doesn't bother you. Keep going. Ask your own critical voice to be quiet when it's time to express yourself creatively. It's time to play and enjoy getting in the flow of creativity, which is happiness increasing and healing. And give yourself permission to be happy, no matter what disappointments, challenges, we all have them. And it is greatly satisfying, fulfilling, enriching to know that we can be our own sacred witness writing and we can express ourselves creatively in any way we choose. And the only thing we can be better at than anyone else in the world is being ourselves. So I want to read a few quotes. Albert Einstein: imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. George O'Keeffe: someone else's vision will never be as good as your own vision. Yourself, your vision of yourself. Live and die with it, because in the end, it's all you have. Lose it, and you lose yourself and everything else. I should have listened to my. So there's George O'Keeffe, this incredible artist that has inspired so many, and she is admitting she should have listened to herself more. It is a human struggle to doubt ourselves, to have the critical voices that say things like words, so many words, get in there and mess with us. Let it go. Let it pass by like a bad smell, and go back into the happy place where children, hopefully, most children, all children, ideally, have this place where they can just play because they're not judging themselves and one another. And that is why I became a creativity coach, because I went there as a child to survive my difficulties. And I learned to protect that place mostly by being alone, but out in nature where everything is in balance and all is right with the world because nature finds its own balance and nobody's judging anybody else in nature or me. So I found my place I could restore, and that's what I want to share with others, which is why I became a creativity coach when 9 people in one day in my 20s asked me to teach. So I wrote my own curriculum and taught every grade level, mental institutions, drug rehab, juvenile delinquent homes, called Dancing into the Arts, where I love to weave the arts, words, sound, movement, visual arts, um, giving people an experience that we can do any of them. And we're going to be the greatest at being us if we let ourselves be us. And we don't have to be the best painter or the best flautist or the best dancer, just be the best us. And so that's what Dancing into the Arts is about. And another Albert Einstein, creativity is intelligence having fun. Isn't that great? I mean, a lot of people think he was the smartest guy that ever lived, and there he is, saying what I watched kindergartners and first graders and second graders and then people in drug rehab doing, creating and having fun when they give themselves or we give each other permission to explore and express our creativity. It is healing, enriching, and a beautiful experience. So Louise Bourgeois, tell your own story and you will be interesting. And that is the truth. We all have beauty, experience, wisdom, insights, a perspective that is us, that is uniquely our own, that no one else has. We all have value to share with the world. My hope is that something here in these live streams will help you to face the doubt and fear that we're all full of. Saying you're not good enough. I mean, to write my memoir, I stopped going to school regularly at 7. I didn't read a book till I was 21 years old, and it was Jonathan Livingston Seagull, for goodness sakes. A few words. I do listen to, I think the most inspirational people in podcasts. I do listen to books on tape, but I'm very poorly read. I've written more than I've read. And so, of course, I'm full of doubt. My limited academic and exposure to literature, but it's my heart, it's my desire to help people to heal myself and transform my challenges into assets by using my adversity and turning it into art and turning it into an advantage. So that is where I counsel myself and go back to share what makes you happy. And then you're being happy doing it and you're sharing happiness with the world that really needs it. So one of the reasons that I decided to self-publish my memoirs, because it's got over 60 pieces of art, over 40 photographs, all in color. And publishers, of course, understandably want to make money. But my number one is helping people. And art is what helped me, Creative Reverie, get through the adversity. So share that much of my art between every story. There's over 52 stories in here. Part A and part B, because I like the number 52, one a week. It's it was very important to me to not compromise the color art in here and make a book that really represented what I most believe, which is that we can be our own therapist, we can be our own healer by finding safe and serene places. So at this point, I'd like Bodhi to read about the author and the prologue of the book that he wrote. Hello? Bo? Time for you to read about the author in your prologue?
All right. I'm listening to the live stream like the other people, and so I'm on a little bit of a delay. I didn't have my headphones on. All righty. What did I do with the book? Good question.
He's not here.
Okay. I'll be right back. Bear with us.
Okay, well, he's coming out to get the book so he can read his about the author, so I don't have to read it about myself. Let me just say that.
Is that wrote?
Yeah, he wrote it, and so he's going to read it.
So about the author and then the epigraph?
Yes,
All right.
there you go.
All right, everybody. Let me get situated here and flip to the back of the book where we've got the about the author. And here's the experience here. Got some colorful art, as she mentioned. It's like a museum tour going through this book. It's fantastic. Okay. So, about the author, page 269. Claire's many years of creativity coaching confirmed what she believed to be true. Artistic expression comes naturally. Unfortunately, many people do not have it nurtured and can lose connection to their creativity over time. Claire credits her classically trained fine artist mother, who was a major contributing factor in Claire staying connected to her imagination, and always encouraged her to follow her inspiration. Claire is committed to helping others reconnect with or strengthen their connection to their creativity, as her mother did for her. Her mother referred to Claire as the elegant primitive because of her self-taught, refined style. She told her daughter, "The rules do not matter for you. You would just have to forget them if you learned them, because you follow your instincts and figure it out." This is most unusual for artists. Many overwork their pieces. You stop when it's done. Keep trusting yourself, dear. Claire's art portrays the sublimely simple designs of nature and the expanse of the universe. Her art comes from her reverence for natural harmony and her curiosity about the ineffable cosmos. Her art is influenced by the time we are in when living in harmony with nature is crucial. Claire's art inspires us to rise to our luminous potential as guardians of the environment and its creatures. Creating with whatever she had to work with was her way to express anytime and be in creative reverie whenever possible. Her first memories were dancing, sculpting, and making assemblages of found objects in nature. She began writing poetic prose before she read a book. She designed and hand-painted clothing, then made jewelry and accessories. Sumi ink brush became her first graphic art practice, then playing a porcelain flute as a meditation, then doing pen and ink line drawings of nature. She designed or created most of the things in her home: furniture and furnishings, dishes, floral and tabletop arrangements, window and wall treatments, art, framing, and displays. Recently, she added the art form that can combine all others, video, with her movie-making son. Though best known for her crane paintings, she paints everything from insects to outer space, classic to modern, in her unique dreamlike realism style. With over 500 paintings, drawings, and etchings in her house, the Emerald Lady, a guest said, "It is a living museum with the heart of a home." Claire was too busy creating to count her creations until recently for a video project. When her unique creations reached over 2,000, she understood for the first time why people say she is prolific. Claire's first public showing was her glass etchings in the Park Point Art Fair, Duluth, Minnesota, in the 70s. Since then, her art has been exhibited in a wide variety of venues, from small cafes to fine restaurants and wineries, galleries, corporate headquarters of a number of Fortune 500 companies. The Natural World Museum of Art, the Carpellis Museum, the cover of the Red Rose catalog, and on the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art tours. Her art, writing, and designs were published by Pomegranate Art Books in her Book of Cranes. Excuse me. Let me put this back on. Lost my spot. Of course. 10 seconds. Her art, writing, and designs were published by Pomegranate Art Books in her Book of Cranes after observing all 15 species of cranes in person. Her art was featured as the Pheasants Forever Catalog Pollinator Print of the Year in 2019. Claire's work was added to the International Crane Foundation Gift Shop Gallery in 2020 and the Cornerstone Gallery in Baraboo, Wisconsin in 2021. Claire was asked to create and direct a performance art piece for the Napa Valley Arts Council, which she involved 90 volunteer artists in, and she dedicated to world peace. She did skate dance performances in San Francisco at Give Peace a Dance, Fort Mason, Theater Artaud, and the North Beach Poetry Festival. Claire's cabinet and table were selected and sold at the Architectural Designers Showcase in San Francisco. She has done a number of public and private readings of her stories and poetry, including on public radio. Claire was interviewed on the Women of Vision television show. In her 20s, Claire was asked to begin teaching her interdisciplinary curriculum, Dancing into the Arts. She has worked with every grade level in public schools, at universities, psychiatric hospitals, drug rehabilitation centers, crisis shelters, juvenile halls, and with the participants and staff of mental health and drug courts. She has worked with therapists, probation officers, lawyers, judges, nurses, and many other types of groups and individuals. As a creativity coach, she loves guiding people home to themselves. Her work is based on her experience that the greater access we have to our imaginations, the confidence to express it, and the courage to share it, the more we have to work with to enhance our lives, hope, heal, and contribute to others and our world. So that is about the author in Incandescence, Rising Above Darkness, Memoir in Art by Clare Cooley. Currently available where all the places where books are sold, and incandescencebook.com. Let me go ahead and read the epigraph. For those who don't know, that is a quote in the front matter of a book. I wrote the epigraph, so this is really all about me, huh? First, it's about the author I wrote, and then the epigraph. Okay, epigraph. A life guided through the dark by the light from within is never lost. All right, and let's welcome Clare Cooley back.
Thank you. Thank you for, so Bodhi wrote the about the author and the epigraph, and I'm so grateful to have had a mother who was my champion and a son who is my champion, and I am their champions, and my book is dedicated actually to my mother. And I love helping my son fulfill his luminous potential of being a storyteller that writes stories worth writing and is making movies worth making. And his style is completely different than my own, but as worthy. And he likes fiction, and I'm into nonfiction. And his Northport 1999 spy thriller horror intrigue is very inspiring to me, because though it's totally different than my nature, my style, it is a story worth telling where I like alliteration. So humble hometown heroes face the most powerful predators on the planet, was the way I remember the essence of his story that I love helping him bring out to the world, which you can see on his Patreon. Bodhi, the movie maker, his Patreon members get the regular installments of the story and the graphic art, and he now has a movie on from the book. So back to this live stream about helping you, hopefully inspiring you, hopefully to find what you have to share, and about promoting it through the 6 different ways we can promote, which I mentioned in the beginning of this. And let's see if I can go back. 1, social media platforms. 2, search engine optimization. 3, content exposure. 4, through the press or news. 5, through events. And 6, through your own personal contacts. So we're going to get into those in these 15 live streams every Monday and Thursday, 11 a.m. And today what I want to, is equally important in how we share our work, obviously, is that we create it. So I have written, let's see, I think there's 32 of them here, attitudes to promote positive, peaceful, playful productivity, ways to build our creative confidence. And so number 1 I have here is do what you love and give it to the world. There's nothing we're going to have more energy, staying power, commitment for than things that nourish us. So if you are having trouble, which we all have trouble at different times, like what do you love doing? Go back and remember as a little person, 3, 4, 5 years old, as far back as you can remember, what did you love doing? And chances are that that is still something you'd love. And just ask the critical voice to be quiet, to leave, to not participate in this, giving yourself permission to do what you love. I love finding sticks and rocks and feathers and seashells and all kinds of natural stuff in the that other people may not even see, and turning it into artistic collections. I love finding clothing like this at a used store and turning it into a piece of art by stenciling on it. I love using what is around me. And I started that as a little girl, and I love to keep going with that. Another attitude is we can turn our adversity into our advantage by using it as fuel for art. Not only then, we have nothing to feel sorry for ourselves, we have nothing that we need to regret. If the toughest stuff we've gone through, the most challenging, difficult things, we've turned into something that by expressing it heals us, stimulates our immune system, stepping into creative flow, increases our happiness. These are not just my opinion, these are medically, scientifically documented that going into creative flow does increase our happiness. Expressing an emotion does increase our immune system. So art is a way we can express it all. And then the fulfillment is deeply increased when we share it with others, and it helps them to heal themselves and find hope and continue and let go. I don't regret any of the tough stuff that happened in my life. And, you know, part of the reason I wrote my book was when a girlfriend of mine who was dating a judge, they came over for dinner and we were all talking, and it was a really lovely evening and lots of socializing and sharing stories. And she told me that he said, her story is like the women on death row. How did she end up so nice, or something close to that? And that's when I realized, wow, because of my kind mother that I wanted to be like, and I realized, well, I have to forgive, especially those who I experience the most hurt because of their comments or actions. I have to find a way to forgive them, or that hurt stays in my heart. And so that was a choice I made, and I have stayed on that path. Every time I slip off it, I get back on it. And that doesn't mean that we forget what happened to us. It doesn't mean we aren't schooled in who we can trust and who we can't, but forgiving them takes all that hurt out of our heart, and then we get to be happy and have no regrets. So I deserve to be happy, you deserve to be happy. I don't wish ill upon anyone, including those that have hurt me. I hope for peace for them, and they have to forgive themselves. I've forgiven them in my heart, but that doesn't mean that they have forgiven themselves. That's their work. I can't do it for them. We can't do that for anyone else but ourselves. So that's what I choose to do, is increase my own peace and give that to the world as best I can. So that's what these are all about, as much as the practical information on attitudes and ways we can promote our own work. Social media, you wouldn't be seeing this if you didn't know how to go to YouTube or Facebook. So you have that as a way to share whatever you create. And that's a step we can take. And it takes courage to put ourselves out there. But if you know why you do it, and you don't let the confusion of others. I once had someone I thought was a friend of mine say, "You have a Jesus complex." And I said, "No, but I do have a Buddhitude," because I heard that Buddha said, "I can't help you because you're confused." And this person I thought was my friend and had my best interest at heart, later revealed that she had issues that weren't mine. Many women don't know how in this sexist world to be there for one another. They don't know how to be champions of their own excellence, their own value. That is one of the effects of the sexist world, is that women aren't supposed they think they're not supposed to shine or know what they have to give the world, and that there's so many ways it's promoted for us to compete with one another. But none of that gives us happiness, peace, energy. So I don't compete with anyone but me. I just want to be better today than I was yesterday. And everybody has their own struggles, no matter how good they might look or sound or accomplished they may appear. Everyone is human and everyone struggles. So I just remember that, and I don't really have to deal with jealousy because I don't put people on pedestals. I see everyone as real, everyone as imperfect, especially myself. So we're all on a path to our excellence, and we all struggle. So have compassion for yourself and everyone else. So Bo, do you want to read some comments, or we'll get to the questions?
All right. Yeah, we have a few. So, okay. One that came in early was about it can be so hard to manage time. It can be hard to carve out time for writing. How do you manage that?
That's a great question. And I want to say this. There was a time in my life where I had taken in my beautiful but sickly mother and my two nephews because of my oldest sister's drug addiction. And so I had a 4-year-old, a 14-year-old, and my beautiful, kind, sickly mother to take care of, all on my own income with no assistance from anyone else. So as you can imagine, as a fine artist, I had a limited income, so I had to do other things for money. I framed, I did art shows, and sold a little bit of art, but I cleaned houses, or I was a janitor, or I ran a restaurant, managed a restaurant. So I was one busy person. And I realized that stepping up for the 3 homeless family members and to support them, and all of the medical and therapists and school and all that, I had very little time. But I realized that if I spent 5 minutes a day on my art, I was happy. If I didn't, I was unhappy. And I was driving up to Seattle from San Francisco to do an exhibition at a gallery. And I had a lot of time to think. And I calculated that if with 5 minutes a day, I had enough time to create a body of work that I could have an exhibition at a gallery or wherever 5 years later. Now, I've known many artists that, including myself, I don't have the time, but we can all find 5 minutes a day. And 5 years later, we can have an exhibition, or we can be 5 years older, still complaining about not having enough time. So I decided, if I put in that 5 minutes a day and I was happy, it was my job to find that 5 minutes a day and do that, because I love myself and I deserve to be happy. And that's what it takes to be happy as an artist, is to keep moving forward, keep believing in our vision, keep bringing it out to share with the world. So find that 5 minutes a day and use it, and realize that if you have as many responsibilities as many people do, that you can find 5 minutes a day and 5 years later have an exhibition or publish a book or whatever it is that you want to do, make recordings of your singing or your voice, your music, whatever it is that gives you joy. So if you have 5 minutes a day, create that 5 minutes a day and then use it. I say this, that paralysis that many people talk about, artistic blocks that many people talk about, and I've experienced, I say to myself, if you have any time in your life to do your art, it is just spoiled to just stare at the canvas or the blank screen. Use that time. Doesn't matter what you create in that time, as long as you step into your creative flow, it will increase your happiness and your hope that you can make something beautiful to share with others. So find 5 minutes if that's all you've got and use it. How about that? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Great stuff. All right, so, and then we,
I've got some questions.
Yep,
Go ahead.
I got plenty. So Jolene is asking about, have you ever done anything through community education, or are you planning to do any of that in the future?
I'm open to any and all possibilities of sharing the inspiration with others. So, yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, and she also did some courses for the University for Seniors in Duluth, and she got her education career started through community education here in Duluth. Okay, so I figured I would just
send me your ideas on that and how to do it, and I appreciate that.
Great. Another question. We have a bunch of comments that came in, a lot of just really nice stuff. Claire Boisano, such a creative person. Meg Litz, guiding people home to themselves. She really liked that. Claire Boisano, I love your 5 minutes a day. Roderick Hunt, hi. William Fukuba, hi Claire. So lots of people saying hi. Mary Zimmerman. She can't see the comments, so I just wanted to relay those to her. Thank you, all of you, for commenting, including Joni on YouTube as well. And it looks like Sumner just said, great job on YouTube. So there you go. I pretty much caught her up on all the comments. So then let's ask the next question. We got a question, Meg Litz asked something yesterday about, was talking a bit about that fear that all writers have of like what they worried about, what they want to write, maybe not being important to other people or, not mattering to other people. So will you talk a little bit about how do you balance, you're inspired to write something, and then there's that negative voice that maybe questions, is it worth writing? Are other people going to care? Is it going to matter? Take it away.
Well, I love what Louise Bourgeois said about that. Tell your own story. Let me find that quote again. Tell your own story and you will be interesting. No one else is you. No one else has your perspective, your experiences. And everyone is interesting when they are authentic. Most people are boring when they're trying to fit in, when they're trying to be appropriate, trying to be getting approval from others. Just be yourself and you will be interesting. Authenticity moves us. No matter what our story is, no matter how exciting we think our life is or isn't, no matter how important we think what we know or experienced is or isn't, if we are real, we move people. Authenticity is the stuff that we can feel and motivates other people and stimulates their limbic center core of our brains to feel and respond. So just be real. And if you are happy doing something, if you are motivated doing something, there will be others that will also be happy because we're all human. We'll motivate one another if we share what motivates us. And so the courage to do that, I think it's really valuable and important and in fact crucial to find at least one or a few people that are trustworthy. They have no agenda. They only want you to be happy and fulfilled. And share your work with them and listen to their response. Take it in as a compliment, even if it is what we would call critical. Criticism of what we could do better, what we didn't explain well, what we didn't go deep enough into, what we were repeating, is a compliment from people who have no agenda, are not jealous of us, are not threatened by us, are not trying to hold us back for their own selfish reasons. Find that person and be real with them and share what you're doing periodically to get the feedback of others. And then in the beginning of when I fell in love with drawing, I drew every day for 5 years. And then I hung my art first in a park at the Park Point Fair. I hung my glass etchings. They were all done on round circles of glass from a tree. And I just watched people walk by and see them. And I looked at their faces to see if there was delight in their faces. And then I hung my paintings and drawings in cafes and a little dessert shop, and I ended up in Domaine Chandon and Auberge du Soleil. But I literally worked in, I think, 5 different restaurants where my art hung on the walls, and I could just watch complete strangers walk in and see it. People that came in to eat, not see art, and I could see in their response that my work didn't move some people, not everyone, but that people saw it and appreciated it. So find a way to bring it out in a way that helps you to see what you do can be appreciated by others. But in the beginning, be very protective of your creative inspiration and wonderful, unique aesthetic, and only share it with those who have your best interest at heart, qualified and trustworthy. And then when you feel more confidence, have a little show, have a little reading, have a little performance. And I loved being a waitress where they didn't know I did the art, because that was really an anonymous way to see that my art did. People saw it and appreciated it. You can find ways like that to share it. And know that just doing it is, and the joy you get from doing it and the healing we get from expressing our emotions is a good enough reason. It's the only reason you actually need to do it. We do not need the approval of others we need to be our own champions. That's a good enough reason to do it. And whatever you do, you'll get better at.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we have a few more. Sorry, my phone my phone is on a delay, so I'm hearing you talking a few minutes, a few seconds late, and I thought I was interrupting you. Okay, so let's see. Can you describe your writing process? Do you have any specific rituals or habits that help you stay productive?
Yes. Well, first, let me talk about Incandescence, my memoir. People ask me to write it, many people over the years, and I'm like, okay, that's easy for them to say, but what do I write? And then I asked myself, well, I'm doing this for other people. I've already written these things in my journals or talked about them with a trusted confidant, a sacred witness. So I'm really doing this collection for others. So what would they get something out of? And so I said to myself, well, what I should write, the stories I should tell, should be moments in my life, experiences where I learned something that helped me, because I'm just human like everybody else. So if it helped me, it can help others. So I chose to make a list of what I would call epiphanies, moments of awakening. Some of them were wrathful blessings, as Buddhists might say, and painful experiences, but I learned something important. Some of them were simple and delightful experiences. Some of them were ordinary. Some of them might be extraordinary. But they were moments that broadened my perspective, opened up my awareness, increased my experience level, gave me strength, increased my compassion for others, something that helped me and could help others. So I wrote that list I would call of epiphanies. And then my next step for me, and this is my process, everyone has their own, was if I could come up with a title that was the most distilled version of that experience or story, then I felt like I was ready to tell it, because the title was the most reduced, most concentrated version of what that story was about, so I really knew what the story was. So once I had a title, I would then write the story by telling it in as few words as possible, the most succinct way I could tell the story. And some stories have a few different experiences in them, a few different events. And then I would go in and tell it in a way that invited the reader to be there with me, whether I needed to describe the colors or the smells or the sensations or whatever I needed to invite the reader to be there with me. And I like short stories. That is my nature, is to distill it down to, well, as few words as I could, to really tell it, to really let the reader experience with me, which is why it was so ironic. Many people have said they wanted more in my life. And that one woman who's like, words, so many words, it was clearly her issue, not even a response to my work. So it's always about them when people are not supportive. It's about their fear, their limitations, their okay.
Yeah, lovely. Well, at this point, we've gone beyond the time you wanted to go, And so we're
Oh.
at about an hour and 10 minutes. So would you
Wow.
like me to start wrapping up, or do you want to address another question, or what?
Well, we'll save, since these are supposed to be hours, save the questions and go ahead and thank you everyone for your comments and your questions, and please share it with your friends. I'll be back on Thursday at 11, and I really appreciate it if you help me help others by getting the word out there. So thank you, and to the Minnesota State Arts Board and the National Endowment for the Arts, and thank you, Bodie, for helping me do this. So go ahead and wrap it up. See you Thursday.
Ah, my sound was off. I see a comment now. So let me redo the plug there. Thank you, Jolene, for letting me know the sound was off. So let me do that again. Clare Cooley's book is on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart, all the places you can buy books, including independent bookstores. You just have to go ask them to order the book. You can find the book and all of its different formats on incandescencebook.com. You can also see her art at clarecooley.com/shop. And if you're watching on Facebook, please consider subscribing on YouTube, The Creativity Show. And thank you all for the comments and questions. Brian just said, as always, great to enjoy your insight. Thanks for stopping in. Thank you, everybody. And same time next week. Also on Thursday as well. Great. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.